The government has approved a 40 peso hike in the daily wages of Metro Manila workers. But labor groups say this is a pittance. Airport authorities remind passengers that the NAIA Terminal 2 will be an all-domestic hub starting tomorrow. And the Supreme Court has spoken. Meralco cannot cut power supply of customers without prior written notice. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. The Metro Manila Wage Board has approved a pay hike for workers in the private sector. Starting July 16, the current 570 peso daily minimum wage for non-agricultural sector workers will become 610 pesos, while the daily wages of agriculture, service, and retail workers will increase to 573 pesos from 533 pesos. The Labor Department said that the wage hike is expected to benefit over 1 million workers in the capital region. The Employers Confederation of the Philippines, or ECOP, welcomed the increase, but it fears that this pay hike could hurt small businesses.
Marami pa hindi nagbubukas eh. Yun ang inaalala namin na pag masyadong mataas, madi-discourage yung mga micro na magbukas o magdagdag ng tao, baka magbawas pa.
Labor groups are also not happy about the 40 peso wage hike in Metro Manila, but for a different reason. In an interview with True FM, spokesman of Nag-Kaisa Labor Coalition, Rene Magtubo, said the increase is still way below the current livable wage in the region of 1,200 pesos for a family of 5. He added that the wage board seemed to have favored employers over workers. For labor rights advocate Calio de Guzman, the wage hike should not only cover Metro Manila.
Kami ay nadismaya sapagkat binigyan yata ng malaking timbang ng wage board itong kahilingan ng mga negosyante na within their capacity to pay ang idagdag kaysa sa doon sa timbangin na ang kapasidad naman na bumili ng mga manggagawa para naman magkaroon ng disenteng pamumuhay.
Yun ang talaga yung aming inihahabol at sinusuportahan namin, yung panukala ni Senate President Yusubiri na maging pambansa o national wage increase ang gawin. Ang pagtaas ng presyo ng bilihin ay hindi naman NCR lang. Kung magkano yung VAT dito, ganun din naman sa probinsya. Kung magkano ang presyo ng gasolina dito, ganun din, yung gamot.
And beginning tomorrow, July 1, Terminal 2 of the Ninoy Aquino International Airport will be an all-domestic hub. Gerard de la Peña with the details.
This would be the last time that AirAsia's passengers will have to line up at the NAIA Terminal 4 or the smaller Old Domestic Airport. Starting tomorrow, AirAsia's domestic flights will move to Terminal 2, which is part of a grand plan to convert the terminal that was exclusively used by Philippine Airlines into an all-domestic terminal. That's why AirAsia's counters are already prepared a day before the big move. But there's more to AirAsia's preparation.
Ang preparasyon is not only in terms of preparing our check-in counters. We also have to prepare our engineers, our pilots, our mechanics. No? Kailangan po ng isang masugid na training, no? Ang ating pong mga cabin crew. At higit ho sa lahat ay we have to make sure that we are still very compliant sa MIAA, sa CAAP at sa CAB.
Philippine Airlines domestic operations will remain at the Terminal 2. Royal Air will also be operating at the Terminal 2, aside from AirAsia and PAL. AirAsia's international operations will remain at the Terminal 3. Staying at the Terminal 4 are carriers that operate smaller, turbopropeller planes, namely Sebgo, Air Swift, and Sunlight Air. Passengers are expected to benefit from the terminal reassignments.
Tinanggal namin yung glass partition sa pre-departure. So magiging mas maaliwalas po ang pre-departure area natin, and we are adding more seats to accommodate po yung increase in passenger movement po natin. More convenient and comfortable sila, no? Mas mabilis ang proseso.
Maniniwala po tayong mas magandang serbisyo dahil wala na hong maglalakad sa ramp. lahat po ng pasahero natin pag umakyat ng eroplano, we will be part of the 7 aero bridges that we will be able to use as our facilities for our pasajeros.
AirAsia will now have 20 check-in counters from just 11 at the Terminal 4. Isla said this will enable them to expand their operations.
Approximately, we're about 70 to a high of 75% of pre-pandemic. So marami pa hong capacity na kailangang increase ang aming pong pasahero. And we need more aircraft. At sisiguraduhin po namin as early as now, right? Handang-handa na kami dyan.
Some passengers, however, are confused, especially those flying out today at the Terminal 4 and landing at a different terminal on their flight back.
Yun nga lang, sa umpisa. Nakakalito talaga yun. Pero pag nasanay siguro, okay na, wala nang problema yun.
Pero at least na may idea ko yun.
Authorities said they have prepared free shuttle services for passengers who may need to transfer to different terminals. For News 5, Gerard De La Peña, We Are One News.
We have more stories for you after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. And as he celebrates his first anniversary as chief executive today, President Bongbong Marcos assures the LGBTQIA+ community that they will be protected against discrimination. In a meeting with the LGBT Pilipinas group in Malacanang, Marcos emphasized the importance of treating every Filipino without prejudice. He also noted that the Philippines is more open-minded about sexual orientation as compared to other countries. LGBT Pilipinas is pushing for the creation of an advisory body or a commission for the LGBTQIA+ community under the Office of the President.
We in the Philippines, ang habol lang naman talaga natin is that everybody is treated not for any other thing, not for race, not for creed, not for orientation, but just as Filipinos. And that this government, that's what it's trying to do.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. Meralco needs to hand in a 48-hour written notice before it cuts off power supply of customers who fail to settle their dues on time. This was the decision of the Supreme Court following a complaint from a customer. The High Court said there must be prior written notice in accordance with the Anti-Electricity and Electric Transmission Lines and Materials Pilferage Act of 1994. For its part, Meralco reiterated that the regular disconnection notices sent to delinquent customers should already suffice. A photojournalist and 3 others were wounded after being ambushed in Quezon City. Abante photographer Rene Joshua Abiad and his relatives were on their way home when assassins shot at their car yesterday afternoon. 2 of the 4 victims are children who are now in critical condition. The PNP and the QC government have condemned the brazen attack and have ordered a manhunt for the suspects. TV and social media personality Aura Briguela is facing a string of complaints. The cases have been brought before the Makati City Prosecutor's Office for inquest proceedings. Briguela was arrested outside a pub in Makati on Wednesday after figuring in a brawl with several individuals. The 19-year-old is facing charges of physical injuries, alarm and scandal, disobedience to authority, and direct assault. And on a lighter note, what's a Pinoy celebration without lechon? Laila Pangilinan brings us to one fiesta where the suckling pig is the main fare.
In Ormoc City, not one, but 14 lechons were served at the 5th Lechon Kumbira. This is part of the Piña Festival 2023, a much-awaited feast over this side of Eastern Visayas.
Kumbira kasi means festivity. It's a gathering of people, no? And then parang when people gather, they eat, they feast on food. Binibira. Binibira, di ba? Lechon kumbira.
Just the sight of roasted pigs being paraded is enough to whet one's appetite. Organizers hope that more tourists will be drawn to this annual event to partake not just of the lechons, but the festive spirit in Ormoc City.
Itong lechon kumbira, aside from the fact that we have the best sweet pineapple here, the queen pineapple, ito, na-discover talaga to ni Congressman Richard na the last 2016, kung matitikman natin yung lechon itself, ang sarap talaga na even better than other lechon in the Visayas.
But Ormocanons were not always in a celebratory mood. Back in 2021, the African swine fever hit the city, with the lechon industry bearing the brunt of it.
Humina yung binta namin kasi yung mga tao takot kumain. Kasi yun nga, dahil sa ESF, swine flu, kaya yung iba natakot nang bumili ng baboy, especially lechon.
Medyo laganap yung spread ng ASF that time, no? It was many places.
Oo. So na-detect namin kagad. Tinamaan kami ng mga 5 barangays. We killed siguro thousands of pigs, of hogs.
Still within 5 months, Ormoc City was able to bounce back to become one of the first cities to come out of the ASF red zone.
We're very strict with ASF here. Pag merong danger, because first talaga in the city, any program takes a backseat when safety is at stake.
In-intensify namin yung information and education campaign doon sa barangay talaga level, sa barangay, sa komunidad, lalo na yung mga backyard farmers na dapat ni-remind namin sila sa kanila na dapat i-implement talaga yung strict biosecurity measures.
And fast forward to today, Ormoc City's hog industry is thriving again.
Before the ESF, umabot kami ng about 90 to 100 heads per day. Ngayon, nag-drop yan siya. When we went back, nag-drop to 50. Ngayon naman, pabalik na gradually to 60, 70.
But Ormoc City's celebration is more than just feasting on lechon. It's one big Thanksgiving from sparing them from harm, whether it be from ASF or other man-made and natural disasters.
It has always been to give back to the people, and our way also of giving thanks to St. Peter and Paul for all the blessings he has bestowed on the Ormocanos.
For News 5, Laila Pangilinan, we are One News.
And tomorrow is the day. Tito Vic and Joey and the rest of the Legit Tabarkads are back on television via their much-awaited noontime show on TV5. Viewing parties will be held in various sites nationwide, including SM Center Sangandaan and Santa Lucia Mall in Cainta. Television sets will also be set up in Bulacan, Laguna, Ilocos Norte, and Albay. In the Visayas, viewing parties will be held in Bacolod, Capiz, Cebu, Iloilo, and Leyte. In Mindanao, the show will be screened in Agusan del Norte, Davao del Norte, and Zamboanga. TVJ's noontime program starts airing on TV5 tomorrow, July 1 at 11:30 in the morning. One News Now will be back tomorrow at 7:45 a.m. Have a restful weekend, everyone. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News. All sides, all the time.